Welcome to Business Morning on Union Television. I am Onyinye Ezlofo, and today we're going to be talking about something we share in common in Nigeria today. This is something that affects everyone, both old and young. It's something we keep talking about. It's something we get to react over, but it is something we do not have the power to change because of the economic situation. And I'm talking about prices. There is a hike in the price of commodities in the market. But in spite of this hike, we still have people in business who are struggling with finding the right price for their products, for their services, and for whatever it is they are selling. These people are usually within the creative space. They could be people with sugar crafts. They could be people who create fashion outfits. They could be people who create designs, graphic designs, interior designs. So these are products and pieces they make themselves, but they are finding it difficult to put out the price there because they need to factor a lot of things, but they don't know what to factor. And they are also concerned about their customers. We're going to be addressing the issue of pricing today. And this brings us to our topic, pricing for creative businesses. We'll be talking about what you need to put into consideration before getting the ideal price for your products and how you can price your products to your advantage and to also have good impacts with your customers. We'll be going on a short break now, and when we come back from this break, we'll be delving deep into this topic. Stay with us. Welcome back to Business Morning. We're still discussing pricing for creative businesses. Now, when we say creative, we're talking about people who make things. It could be creative design. It could be cake design. You're creating beautiful work, because a lot of cakes today are looking like works of art pieces. They are so adorable. It's something people invest their time into. So there are a lot of things that people create today because a lot of people are working out solutions for their self-economy. So besides the economy of the nation, their own personal economy needs financing. They need to make money for themselves. They need to make money for their own personal need. They need money that will sustain them as individuals, so they know that they are economically buoyant besides the economic situation of the country. So when people begin to look at things they can do they need to do woodwork, artwork, wire works, sugar crafts, designs, a lot of things, just name it. It's really interesting, and it's something that they are encouraged to do. So you hear people say, oh, get something doing, start something, learn something. Would you want to design chairs? Would you want to design wardrobes? Do you want to design furnitures? Do you want to go into interior designs? Do you want to design clothes, fashion, illustration, name it? And these people go into it, especially young people. They are creatives. They are doing something unique, something out of the ordinary. But it doesn't end there. At the end of the day, what happens? There is always a bridge between these products and the market. That's because they are not able to find the right price for it. They know their work is good, but then will it be appreciated by people outside? Will it be valued by people outside? Oh, I am a creative person. I can help you connect with your target audience. I can help you to engage with your community. I can help you build a very vibrant social media community. I can help you connect your customers with your product. I can help you build. They can help you do all of these things, but can they really help themselves with the right price for themselves? Can they price themselves accordingly? Many people begin to think, oh, how much do I even sell myself? And they just try to do something. They just give a price so that they don't lose customers. They end up selling themselves short. So what do you need to do before stating a price, before slamming a price on yourself, before slapping that price on your products or your work? What do you need to put into consideration? What factors do you need to pay attention to? That's what we're going to be reviewing. What are the factors, the core elements that needs to be put in place before you give a price for anything? Let's say you're a social media manager or you're a graphic designer. What is it that you need to put into consideration before signing that deal with that brand? Probably you're a freelancer. What are you thinking? What should you itemize? So first thing we're looking at, under the factors that need to be put into consideration before pricing, factors you need to consider before pricing. Number one is the cost of production. It doesn't matter what you're producing. If you're producing cake, okay, how much is a kg of flour? You need sugar, you need icing, you need whipped cream. What do you need? The Oreos, the cocoa powder, the chocolate, everything. What is the cost? That's what you need to factor in. The cost of this item. Because what you're buying a cup of flour for today, it's not going to be the same tomorrow. So if you're not calculating your costs effectively, you're going to be losing. You'll be that person who gets paid and still don't have money. You'll be that person who is working but cannot finance his personal needs. So what are you putting into consideration? Number one is the cost. What is the cost of the items you're using for this production? What is it going to cost you to create this thing you want to create? So you go to the market today, you have probably a cost, and then you come back tomorrow and the cost has already increased by 3 or 4%. And then you have production. What are you thinking? Are you going to be giving the present cost? It's not going to be fair on you to give the present cost knowing that there's already a shift. You've understood the situation of the economy. So you should work along with it. Don't make it work against you. It might not be the best of time, but then you should leverage what you have. If you have this knowledge that things would go higher, there is hike, is a consistent hike, then you should know how to manage it to your advantage. Pay attention to your costs. Don't buy anything, don't produce anything that is going to be below your cost price. It's not going to pay off. So when you're producing, what cost are you checking? Now, besides the cost of items, what other costs are you considering? Electricity, right? You need light. If you're a creative designer and you need to put up all of those graphics, you have your laptop, but you need lights. Because if it goes off, you cannot work. So are you buying fuel? What's the cost of fuel now? How many liters do you need for that work? You don't want to be that person who buys a liter today or who buys a liter now, and then after an hour, you're running out to go and buy another liter. It is affecting your productivity because you already know that the time it's going to take you to buy 1 liter and go back to queue to buy another one, it's going to be wasting the time you're supposed to be working on that project. Are you that person who would say, okay, rather than queue, I don't mind going to the nearest filling station to buy, and then you're buying at a higher price? Is it factored in the price you've given? So you pay attention to the cost of products and then cost of items that will facilitate your work. You're checking the cost of lights. Besides your bill now, what about the fuel you're going to be using? You're checking the cost of data. So I am doing this work, but if my internet goes off, how do I continue? So even if you have internet at the moment, if you finish the work without factoring the cost of internet, what happens when you have another work? What internet are you going to use in working on that project? You don't have anything left. You don't even have anything to fall back on. You're checking the cost of the internet. If you're able to calculate your internet usage, it's really going to help you, because you will know how much you're spending, how much data you're using. So you know how much you're factoring into the cost of what you're producing. Another thing you're considering is the size, the volume of the work you're doing. What is the volume of the work you're doing? You cannot be creating 500 designs for 500 naira. It doesn't work. What's the cost of a design? If you're to split it, 100 naira. It won't serve you. So what's the volume of the work? Because the volume of the work is going to determine the time you're going to allocate to it. So if you take the whole of 2 weeks doing a particular work, irrespective of your speed, irrespective of your dedication, your commitment, your devotion. You're losing other job probably. And then at the end of the day, it doesn't pay off. Because if this work is going to take up your time, then it should be worth it, right? So what is the time commitment and the volume of that work? You don't want to be that person who starts something, you're excited, you've given the price, and then the next thing, you're losing interest in the work. Because there are people who begin to lose interest in jobs because they feel like they are working for free. The money is not enough. This money is not sufficient. But you gave the price. It was you who gave the price for that work. So why is it not sufficient? Because you did not factor the right thing. The volume of the work is going to be considered because it will also determine the time you're going to commit to that work. Another thing you should pay attention to when you're producing anything is the size of the company you're working with. So if this company is a very large company, you should know what their worth is and how much they can pay you. And if it's a small company, you should also consider that there are people who want a particular thing and they can pay the barest minimum. It might be your benchmark, the amount, but then you know that this company have the capacity to pay higher. Of course, you know what every company is capable of doing. The person you're working with, you know the weight, you do your research, and then you know how much they are going to pay you. Another thing you're going to be factoring in is the quality they need. Now, there are people who would say, oh, I need just a very simple cake, just ruffles. I need cake particles as dust on top of it, one pan, no design, just butter icing, and then cake particles, and I'm okay. That's what they want. Some persons want like 4-step cake with sugar. They want whipping cream, they want chocolates, they want Oreos, they want this, they want it to be loaded with toppings. That's their choice. That's the quality of cake they need. Some persons will tell you that in this cake, I want 5-layer cake, layer 1, velvet, layer 2, chocolate, layer 3, coconut, layer 4, this, layer 5, and it has to be captured in it. Now, you know that what these 3 persons have requested for is not the same, irrespective of the fact that they all want cake. This is where quality comes in. This is not to say that you would compromise quality, no. But what the first person who just wants one pan and whipping cream with cake particles on, the cake is going to be rich, nice, but it's not going to cost you much. Because the second person who wants toppings with a lot of chocolates, with a lot of flavor, with a lot of this and that, it's going to cost you more to make that. You already have like 4-layer cakes and then you have the toppings. So how much would it cost you? Then the other person who wants like 5, and these 5 would be different. Step 1, chocolate. Step 2, red velvet. Step 3, vanilla. Step 4, coconut. It's different. So it's costing more. You need to factor these things into your cost of production. We'll be going on a short break now, and when we come back from this break, we'll be reviewing other things you need to factor in your cost of production before giving your price. Stay with us. Welcome back to Business Morning. We're still discussing pricing for creative businesses, and we're looking at the factors you need to consider before giving out your price or before creating your price. And we said the first one is the cost of production. We've already talked about the things you need to pay attention to, and that is your time, how much time it will take you to get that work done, the quality the client needs, and we gave 3 examples of different cake orders. We talked about the volume of work. Yes, it's really important what you're doing, because the volume of work is going to affect the time you're going to commit to it. We talked about the size of the company, your customer, or whoever you're providing this service for. What is their volume? What is their capacity? Are they able to do this work? Can they deliver on it? So another thing we're talking about is quality. the quality that they need, because there are some people that want it top notch. If we're still using this cake as an example, there are people that want castle cakes, right? That is top notch quality. And if you can't deliver it, then they are ready to pay you for it. But you cannot be delivering a castle cake for the price of a £1 cake. So you put all of this into consideration before arriving at a price for your work. You can decide to, for this price, after you've taken your client's order, you have a brief for them. Now, this is what you need. Let me walk you through all the things that will be involved in the production. We have this, we have that, you're going through this, you're going through that, you get to see this, you get to do that. And at the end of the day, this is what we are arriving at. And that is the reason we have this price. So your client knows what to expect, and they know the different steps that are involved in what they need. So they know they are paying for what it's worth. And you wouldn't even have any problem with pushbacks, or we don't need this doesn't work, this can't work. No. Most times you wouldn't have that when it is clearly spelled out and the people you're working with understand it. So if you're thinking about getting your price, you should consider the factor of production. It is very necessary. You need to know what it will cost you to produce this priceless piece. We used cake as an example, but it's not just limited to cake. We can talk about furniture making. There are different kinds of wood, iroko, raffia, any kind of wood, you name it. So what is the cost of this wood? And how can you create this piece? Do you need me to craft the face of a lion on it? Do you need me to create your face on it? How do you want the stands to be? What kind of piece of clothes do you want to cover it? How do you want this seat to be? So if you're creating it and they have this picture in their head, and you're taking what is in their head and representing as a piece, you should know the cost implication. So you don't end up with this beautiful picture, or you end up with this beautiful piece of furniture, a priceless and a timeless piece, and you're underpaid. Or you begin to feel underpaid, because that is how it comes off. I feel underpaid because I shouldn't have made this thing, or I feel cheated. You weren't cheated. You just don't know how to price yourself. That is the problem. You have some people, I'm a makeup artist. If you're a makeup artist, you do this and you do that. You have your bridal makeup, and then you finish making the person up. Well, what next? I feel you cheated me. You didn't tell me this. You didn't tell me. You have your standard for makeup. You have your standard for everything. So instead of you to be feeling cheated, check the cost of everything you need. Okay? Check the cost. If I'm using this product, how much is it going to cost? If they want like some artistic kind of painting, how much does it cost? It's not the same as the regular kind of makeup. It's not the same as your normal face bits. It's not like the simple go-to makeup. So if you're creating things, if you're a creative, you should know to factor the main cost of production to whatever thing you are creating, so that you're going to get the best result, and most importantly, so that you're going to be paid your full worth. The next factor we're looking at is analyzing your competitor's price. Now, you're not the first person in that industry. I hope you're aware. You're not the first person in the market. You're not the first person who is bringing this product or who is rendering this service. You're not the first person who is creating this item. So people who are creating this item, how much are they selling it for? It doesn't have to be the same price as you, but what it has to be as it concerns you is related. It should be relative. You know that mine is different. But for something that is below mine, if it is going for this price, I know how much I should charge. So you're not that person who is, okay, these people are selling for this amount, I need to sell less so that they get to patronize me more. No, you don't have to do that, really. You don't. Understand the market, understand what works in the market. Then find your uniqueness. You already know how different you are, because if you're coming into the market, it's either you're filling in the gap or you're creating a solution. So if you're creating a solution to people's problem, or you feel like this sales company is not representing itself well, or leveraging social media to connect with more people, I feel they have more space, or they have potential to get to connect with more people, their target audience, and I can help them do that. So that is the reason you're connecting with these people. You're not going to be charging them the same price of a regular content creator, because you know the difference. Now you know what you're bringing, and you know who you're bringing it to, so that when you're charging your price, you know what the basic price is, and then you know how you can now charge yourself, or how much price you can bill for the services you want to render, or for anything you're creating. We'll be going into the marketplace at this time to talk to people in the market to understand how they are coping with the price hike, and how they are also able to manage their business and ensure that they are not selling themselves short, and they are selling the right thing, the right time, not losing, and also ensuring their customers are being protected. Come with me.
This is Marketplace Synergy, a segment of Business Morning where we interact with market people to learn about their businesses, their challenges, and their success stories.
Good morning, ma'am.
How's business going today?
Fine, thank you.
So, why did you choose to go into the fashion business?
You need to look good, and clothing is among the things that make people look good. No matter how you are, thin, fat, you need clothes to make you look good.
Awesome. How's business been for you?
Fine, very fine, very very.
So, do you have any challenge with your pricing, or is the economy in any way affecting your business?
It's really affecting the business. Very very affecting the business. The cost of goods, cost of transportation, everything is very expensive. Even to feed itself for some people is very hard because of the economy. And you can't be receiving like 30,000 naira and you'll be spending more than 30,000 naira transportation. It's really affecting us. Very very bad.
So, how do you determine the price of your products? Probably the price of this fabric and the price of that fabric. What do you put into consideration before selling at a particular price?
Firstly, it depends on how we buy. We can buy the one particular fabric in a cheaper amount. That will determine how much we sell. And again, it's the cost of transportation that will determine how much the final price that we are going to break the pieces down for the price. It depends, yeah. It's very easy.
So, when you have all of these factored and your customers are complaining of the cost, what do you do usually?
Customer satisfaction. So we need to satisfy our customer. In as much as we want to give them the best, we need to consider ourselves too. We can't satisfy them and we will be losing. So we need to maybe it depends on how they are buying also. Because if some are buying like they are buying one, we can't just reduce the price for them. We'll be losing. So if they are buying more than 5 pieces or more than 1 pieces, we may reduce let me say 5,000 from the amount. That is what we do so that we don't lose too.
So, are there prices, or are there fabrics that you give higher priority? And then sometimes there are people that would say, oh, this one, you cannot reduce the price for anything, but this one you can consider. Are there fabrics like that
There
too?
are some like that we do like that. There are some that are very expensive that no matter how many you buy, we don't reduce the price. But there are some that we can just consider, maybe it's 15,000, but we can just reduce it to 12,000 now. But there are some that we can't at all reduce the price. We can't.
Why can't you reduce the price at all?
Because it is very expensive. And there are some people that even when they buy, they will want us to do the way bill for them. So because of if we reduce the price and we are still doing the way bill, we are losing. So it's better for us to just join the money with the way bill together and give them as the price.
Okay, awesome. So, what about your customers? How do they give you feedback? How are you sure that you're really satisfying your customers?
They do send most of their customers after buying and sewing it. They do send their pictures back, and we have a lot of feedback from them, and it's very very satisfying. Very.
What can you say to someone who wants to go into business?
You need to know what you want to do first, Because if you don't know what to do, you waste money. You need to have that assurance that yes, this is what I want to do. You need to be focused, determined. Be rest assured that you have that support from family, from friends. Because once you are confused, forget, you can't start a business. So because it's very, very difficult. To be truthful, it's very difficult. It's not easy, especially in this economic. It is not. Oh.
How you doing today?
Good. And you?
Very well, thank you. How's business going?
Fine. Fine. Very well.
So how long have you been in this business?
I've been in business for like, I would say, um, this is 2024. Let's say over 15 years now.
Oh, that's a very long time. So
Now.
why did you decide to go into this business?
Um, Basically, I knew I'm going to be a businesswoman. I don't really like working, not because I don't really like working, but because I knew, I'll be a family woman someday. So I've already planned ahead that I'm going to do business. Do you understand? So it's not as maybe there, no, maybe there are no jobs, but I feel business will give me, much more time to take care of my home. And fortunately, what I actually planned before, just came to pass, and I'm really, really enjoying it because it really actually gave me time for my family. So that's it.
So have you had challenges with running your business?
Ah, yes, of course. Ah, yes, of course. Like for instance, I am into bridals. That is renting of wedding dress and accessories. Well, the only challenge is that is this: there are some particular dress, for instance, that you may actually not see your money in it. Like for instance, there's a wedding dress we call an empire dress. That one, when some ladies wear such dresses to like their events, let's say maybe where they rented for reception. Sometimes some of them don't really have money to like rent a hall. Do you get where it will be confined? Where there is no muddy and all that. So that one will be easier, for the dry clean to dry clean. But you cannot be asking every lady, come, where do you want to do your reception? Oh, is he on the field or is he inside the hall? It will be embarrassing. So you have to just keep quiet. In your mind, you be praying, "Ah, God, oh, please let it just be, inside the hall." And some when they bring the dress, oh my God, oh my God, because I know how many dresses I've actually condemned, and you've not even actually made your money. Those are just disadvantages about, because you won't be asking every woman that comes along the way, do you get, where do you want to, make your the reception? And another challenge is this: if they are not wedding in Lagos, maybe outside Lagos, some person will say, okay, if it's not in Lagos, for instance, they need to travel to like put things in order, maybe in the east or just outside Lagos, for instance, and they will pick the dress maybe 3 weeks before that time and bringing it back. Let's say after the wedding, 3 weeks, before that time, they will not bring it like after 2 weeks, because they said, say for Thanksgiving, they will start saying for so many occasions. And your money is tied down now. No, so those kind of challenges, are there, and you have to just, bear it that way.
That's true. So are there things you wish you knew before you started the business?
Yes. Number one, when I started the business, I really don't know how to import um some of the dresses. So I buy from people that actually, bring in their own. So, at the point, now you cannot become a monkey forever now. So along the line, I had me to how to come out of the box and just know how to do this thing. So now I'm trying to import my own too.
Why did you decide to go into the fashion business?
Okay. I I I went into the fashion business because of passion, because I had passion for it. I love to create designs and see someone wear it gives me really good joy. Like that was one of the reasons why I went into fashion designing, the passion for it and the joy in seeing my designs and humans wearing.
How long have you been in this business?
Oh, like 7 years. 7 years now, yes.
That's a long time. And I see you have other machines. You cannot be using all 4 machines, right? So who is using all of them?
I have students I train and I sometimes get staff who work for me when needs arises.
So is the economy affecting your business presently?
Sure. Sure, yes, it is. Because the increase in price of materials, in turn, when you give your cost to customers, they complain about the high cost of your what's it called? The bill that we give to customers have greatly increased because of the materials we get to buy in the market. So I think there's nobody in the economy right now that's not affected by it.
So how are you able to manage this? And considering the fact that customers will be complaining and some might even want to threaten you that they are going to be leaving.
Okay, but I feel for that, I don't really have that challenge. Reason being that I think my customers know what I offer, so they don't really get to give me that threat of going elsewhere because I know and they know what I give to them, so I don't feel that threat at all.
Awesome. So how do you calculate pricing in your business? Because you have to factor a lot of things. In my thinking, I might not be correct though.
Correct. You're absolutely correct because there are a lot of things to factor into pricing. Like, firstly, you look at the design you want to create. You see the materials you want to create. You see the time you're going to put into the creation that you're going to create, and then even the what's it called, the time, the factors, like you have to use electricity, you take the waste as well, even the renters too is part of it. Then you have to pay yourself because you can't be working without paying yourself. These are the things I put into consideration before I put out pricing.
So do you pay yourself on every design or at the end of the month?
I pay myself on every design I create. Yes, on every design, and it depends on the number of time and the the time in creating the design. Like there are some clothes that comes with beading, and beading can take days, like number of days for you to do that. You don't expect me to sit in one place doing beading for days and not pay myself for it. I don't think that's cool. Yeah, that's it.
And that will be all on Marketplace Synergy today.
Now that you've heard from people in business that they get to regulate prices in a way that it supports their business and they also ensure that they make profit, you also need to be aware of your profit margin. So for whatever pricing you're deciding for your product, for your service, profit should be part of it because you need to have that profit to remain in business. But even at that, you need to ensure that your customers are not suffering because of your pricing, because we all need each other. You need your customer to be in business and your customer needs you to solve their problem. Thank you for joining us today on Business Morning. For more insightful and educative content, follow us across all our social media platforms. And yes, subscribe to our YouTube channel. As always, I am Onyinye Eslofo, and until I see you again, keep watching Union Television.